Hello, Professor. Today I will be talking about the fast fashion, sustainability, and how fallacies appear in the media. In this presentation, I will be compared two articles. One is from the Conversation, and one is from the BBC View. Boy is talking about the fast fashion and environmental impacts, but they use the different way to convince their readers. My goal today is so how the fallacies or weak reasoning make the difference in how believable an article sound. Um, Here is my content. So I will be covered today is the first is a bit of the context, what is fast fashion and why it's important. And second, I will be look at the conversation article, we talk about taxing ultra fast fashion, and after I will be point out some fallacy or flaw in the reasoning. And the final, I will be finished with a short comparison and reflection on what I learned. First is like a fast fashion overview. Fast fashion basically means cheap clothes that are made and sold very quickly to follow the last trend or like lifestyle. And some brand like Giant, Temu, Zara, and H&M are the main player in this kind of business. It's affordable and people love to consume new style, but it's come like a big cost. Behind the low price, there a lot of like the pollution, cost, and unfair labor. Clothes are worn only like a few times, then threw it away, creating a hung amount of the TikTok washing. And I will talk about like why is matter. According to like BBC News in 2024, the fast fashion industry is responsibility for about 8 to 10% of the global carbon emission, which is more than flight and shipping combined. The conversation also at the ultra fast fashion, which is even faster and cheaper, make this problem worse by adding more waste to the landfill. In the UK, shopper buy more clothes per person than the more people in the Europe. Which so like the problem isn't it just how clothes are made, but it also how much we buy and throw it away. And move on to the next point is a comparison of these two articles. The conversation article written by the Rovina Agori. I don't know like it the right or wrong pronoun, but it's talk about how friend is introducing a tag on the ultra fast fashion and suggests that Australia could follow this example. It's more academic and policy focused at the reader who care about the regulation and sustainability. The BBC article, on the other hand, also explain how fast fashion is linking to the climate change. It writing in the way that easier to read and more emotional to the make everyday people care about this issue. So the conversation use the reason and the research, while BBC just use only emotion and storytelling. Move to the conversation fallacies. Even though the conversation sound logical and academic, it still use like some fallacy or weak reasonable that affect how strong its argument are. So I found three main argument. First is uh, slippery slope. Second is appeal to the authority, and the last one I found is loud language. So we're gonna talk the slippery slope first. The first fallacy is the slippery slope. The author said that East Australia doesn't acknowledge the country will be dropped and take tall wars. Also without urgent intervention, Australia is being burned under a mountain of the discussed fast fashion, and it sounds like dramatic, like one of them is mis for a policy could be lead to the total disaster, but in reality, fast fashion was is caused by many things. It's not just government policy. So this is an example of the slippery slope where its author jumped to the one small issue uh, to the high in exaggerate consequence is create urgency but make it like achievement is really less really realistic. And move to the second point is appeal to the authority. um the other author also said like experts said frank approach could let the world is tackling fast fashion's footprint. It sounds like convincing, but we never find out these experts actually are. So no name, no uh, organization, and also know that this kind of statement is used authority to make something sound credible, but it's without actual evidence. Reader might be accept it because it sounds like professional, but it actually is a weak argument. And the last one is load of language. The third policy, the load of language is the article. Although the article, the author use like very emotion phrase like deeply unsustainable and toxic cycle of the overconsumption. Ultra fast fashion has become a toxic cycle, cheap, wasteful, and unsustainable. This word is made like the problem feel urgent and serious, which can be effective, but the really more than emotion and fact. This kind of language try to make the reader feel rather than thinking. So while it make the article more than uh, against it's also make it sound like basic. And move to the another slide is talking about why these fallacies is matter. This fallacy matter because they change how we interpret the information. They make complete environmental ensure seem too simple. They really are emotional perception instead of logical reasoning, and they can reduce the article credibility. Even the message itself, like promoting sustainability, is still important. When we understand this fallacy, we can separate what emotionally convincing from what logically true. And move to another slide. I will be comparison, evidence, and credibility. Um, one the last we held from the conversation is just policy report and economic reason which make it like more analytical and academic. The policy in the article are favor, but they subtle the like exaggeration or emotion language hiding inside logical writing. Overall, the conversation has the higher credibility because it really on the structure, argument, and focus on the government action. One in another side, BBC use like scientific data and a visual example to help writer understand the issues easily. However, its style might more emotion and processor. It try to connect with the feeling rather than the present them analysis. It's more simplified, which make it good for the public, but less for formal academic calling. So while both article to raise awareness, the conversation is stronger in the logic and policy reasoning, and BBC is stronger in the storytelling and emotional impact. So move to another slide is the conclusion. Both article is talk about the same issue but very different angle. The conversation is academic, logical, and focused on government solution. BBC is emotional, simple, and focused on individual awareness. Both are useful. One have set policy, and one another is have to change the public opinion. But the conversation is slightly more than credible because it use research, even though it still slip into the same passages of fallacies. What I learned from this is being sustainable also mean being critical, not just about what we buy and what we believe. And when we question evidence, emotion, and expert claim, we become be a smarter reader and more responsibilities citizen. So that's all for my presentation today. And also this is my reference that I found from Conversation and BBC. Thank you.